Hello, everybody. This is Robin Heron, your carnivorous grandma here. I'm here with my mom, Bernice Robinson, and I also have Cristie here, and she can go ahead and introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Cristie, and I'm with Meeting Wellness, and this is my mom, Jackie Fisher.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
Nice to meet you.
And
So,
you.
the topic of our conversation this evening, or the title of it, is Mother Daughter Duos Food for Thought on Healthy Eating.
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking about this as I got to know you, which I'm going to say it again, Robin. I'm so glad I got to know you.
Same.
Yeah, I feel like it's just so cool how our journeys just have so many similarities. And I know you've inspired me. And you've started doing fitness challenges too, which I just think is like, I'm not going to say I inspired you because that sounds
You
like I have a big
did.
head.
You did
But
inspire me. Yep.
okay. So yeah, it's just been really great getting to know you. And as I've been watching your channel, I saw how you did some videos with your mom. And
Yes.
I just thought it reminded me a lot, actually, of my relationship with my mom, Jackie. And then I got to thinking about our diets, and I started my keto journey in February, and it wasn't too long after that, in April, that my mom started her keto journey. And I think it was because she saw me and what I was doing, and I think she saw me starting to lose weight and feel better. And so she thought it would be something she would like to try. And I'm going to let you talk about it more, but I watched you kind of talking with your mom about diet and inspiring her. So I thought, I haven't seen anybody do like a mother-daughter type of thing. And I just thought it would be so cool to do a chat like this.
Yes, that's true. That is very awesome. And you are the person who brought this idea up. And I thought it was so fantastic for us to get together with our moms and, just talk to them about diet. I started carnivore in February. So February
Mhm.
22nd, I started carnivore. And then my mom she tried carnivore for a while. She did about 5 weeks. And I'm going to let her talk about that when we get into the questions.
Okay, cool.
Right. So
Well,
should we get into it?
yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about what's been going on with us and our moms.
Okay. So, I guess I'll ask you, Mom, how did you become interested in the keto or carnivore diet, and what inspired you to try it?
Well, I had been on keto many years ago. And the first time I went on keto, in 3 months, I was very strict on keto. And I lost like 25 pounds. And there were people telling me, wow, you're losing so much weight. Wow, you look great. And I started feeling like I've arrived. But I had about maybe 40 more pounds I needed to lose. So I started eating a little bit more of this and tasting of that. And pretty soon I was off keto because I just started eating everything I wanted to eat. So after I went off, I started doing some different things, trying some different diets. And, I did a cabbage soup, all this soup you want to eat. And then you can eat so much soup and you're just sick of eating soup.
Right.
But when I saw that Robin I wanted to try it. Started this this carnivore. I wanted to try it. And she said, well, try it for a month. And I was like, okay, I'll try it for a month. But it's not as easy trying something for a month that it was hard. So I was probably on it by 3 weeks. And I was missing different things I was missing different things. And then there's my husband who's eating everything and anything and bringing all this candy in the house and they're bringing all this stuff in. And it's like, well, I'll just eat one little piece. But it's not something that kept me eating more and more. I would eat maybe one or two or three pieces, not half a bag like he was doing. So I kind of fell off that carnivore because it was too hard. I told Robin, I said, I think I want to do ketovore so I can have a little bit of vegetable because I like to eat cucumbers and tomato mix them up in a little bit of with red onions and put a little bit of dressing in there. I like to eat that along with my meal.
Mhm.
So I decided a couple days ago. I went to the doctor, and I decided a couple days ago I want to go back on it, try to be maybe 90% carnivore, and then just that little bit of
Yeah.
vegetable.
Yes.
And so that's where I'm at now. I
Yeah,
actually, since I
I
left
was
the
just gonna
doctor, I actually lost 2 pounds.
Hey, look at you. Good job. I was just gonna say that I've heard that some ketovores do that. So like they have their carnivore days when they feel like they can handle the carnivore days. And then when they want vegetables, they make that a ketovore day. Or you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not like every day's ketovore or every day's carnivore. It's like mostly they just feel like doing the meat, but then if they want vegetables that day, then they have them. So that's I've just heard some people implement it like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
mom,
had
what
a lot
about
of
you?
vegetables.
Mom, what about you? What inspired you to start your keto diet in March?
Well, as some of you probably know, my daughter loves to talk and can do it very fast. And so she was telling me all about her. At that time, I think you were on keto
I was on
too.
keto,
Yeah,
yes.
you were telling me all about it. And that was combined with getting on the scale and seeing 170. And I did not like that number. So I said, well, what do I have to lose? Well, maybe about 20 pounds. Anyways, another story. And so I decided to start it, and I'm by myself in my home. My husband passed away of Alzheimer's 3 years ago. So I don't have the temptations unless I bring them in the house myself, which is beneficial. And then, so I did, and then I have a Fitbit. So I was entering my food just to get an idea of, I mean, I had no idea what 10% of my diet in carbs was. And so I wanted to get an idea of what that looked like. She gave me the percentages: 70% fat, 20% protein, 10% carbs. And so I was working toward that. And when I would see the breakdown on my Fitbit app, I would say, okay, no more carbs today because I've had my share, and then just go get a spoonful of cream cheese or something like that. So that helped me for probably about 5 months, kind of get the idea of the kinds of things I could and couldn't eat and how much of each kind of thing. And then just in fact, Cristie didn't even know this, just in the last maybe couple of weeks, I haven't been entering my food on my Fitbit because I feel like I have a good idea of what I should eat and what I shouldn't. And then the other thing in the last couple of weeks is that I've not been having vegetables every day. So, for instance, I went to Costco, I got one of their rotisserie chickens, and I just had that for dinner one night. Not the whole thing, but
I would have eaten
I
the
eat the
whole.
whole
Robin was
You eat the whole
like
thing?
3 pounds.
I'd eat the whole thing.
I had a wing, a thigh, and a leg, and a little bit of back meat that I scraped off, and then of course the skin, which is yummy. So I'll do that every once in a while.
Jackie, can I ask you about when you were doing the tracking, did you feel any burden from that? Or did you feel like stressed out about it? Or how did you feel about having to track everything for time?
I didn't really look at it as a burden because I mean, even though like my college major was home economics and I had to take nutrition courses and stuff way back in the day, I felt like I needed to get a handle on, what is 70% fat? What does it look like in my diet? What is 20% protein? And what is 10% carbs? So, I had gone on some other low carb diets in the past, my husband and I, maybe, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago or something, which worked well. But then when you go off of them, then they don't work as well, right? So I didn't feel it was a burden, and I didn't stop because it was a burden. I just stopped mainly because I felt like I knew, kind of had an idea in my head. It might be that, in a month or so, I'll track again for a week and see if I've gotten off a little bit, and see how that goes. But no, I didn't feel that way.
Wow.
Mom, what do you think about tracking? Like,
You know what? I
tracking for a while?
love that idea. I love, because I have no idea how much 70% fat is,
Right.
or 10% in 20%, 70%, 10% carbs. I don't know what that is. When I eat, I don't eat a lot of food because I get full really fast. So I'll eat, just like this evening, I had a steak, and I had it was a thin steak, a ribeye steak, but it was the thin one. It wasn't a thick one. And then I had a rib, a piece of rib bone. My husband hadn't done ribs, so I had one piece of rib bone. I ate the rib bone, and I ate maybe 1/4 of the steak, and I ate a little bit of cucumbers with tomatoes in it. And I was full. I brought my rest of my steak with me. I said, because I'll probably eat some more of it, but I get full fast, but I'm sure I didn't get no 70% fat, or not even 20% fat, in that. So I don't
That's
know.
hard to do,
It's
even.
a good idea.
That's hard to do, even when you eat like a steak, even a fatty steak. It's hard to get that 70%. You have to supplement with other things, I found.
I didn't eat that. I just ate the steak.
Oh, come on. That's the best part. What are you talking about?
That's the part. I agree.
Okay.
So the thing that I found hardest with recording was that you have to weigh everything. So you have to, chop it up, whatever you're going to do, put it on the scale, and then, because you have to know how many ounces or parts of ounces that your food is. And so that maybe was the thing that became slightly burdensome for me. But writing it down wasn't an issue for me.
Yeah.
Now that might be hard for me, weighing stuff. Weigh this, weigh that. I don't know about that.
When in the beginning, I tracked, but I didn't weigh everything like that. So I did not use a scale. Also, she says that I gave her those percentages, but I never used percentages. I think Google gave her those percentages.
You heard them somewhere from some.
Yeah. Okay. We can agree to disagree, but
It sounds right. I mean, it does sound right. I see here that the next question is about the basic principles of a keto or carnivore diet. And I think that you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That standard keto diet is like 70.
I thought it was 60.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 70% fat. And the more fat, the better, honestly, for keto.
Yep.
So, but I think that's absolutely right. And then it varies, like different people do different macros, but as long as those macros are working for you, then that's good, right?
Yeah. So I think too, you could start with those basic macros. I did grams. So I was doing 20 total grams of carbs per day or less. And the thing that I was most interested in tracking was those carbs and just making sure that they were under 20. Yes. Like if I bought a package of steak, it tells you how many ounces that is. And so I would just put that in. If I did a vegetable, back when I was keto, I didn't bother to do it in ounces. Like if I ate a half a zucchini, I would just put it in as a half a zucchini, fully understanding that every half zucchini is not like every other half zucchini, but I did not need to get that like to the nth degree, but I was similar in that I was tracking to make sure, because I knew what carbs were, but I had no idea what 20 grams of total carbs looked like.
Yeah.
And also getting that much fat isn't easy. She's right. If you're eating even a ribeye, you've got to add some butter or something if you want to get that fat macro high enough.
And one of the ways I got that was I like a variety of vegetables. So I would take asparagus, carrots, onion, garlic. And then I would chop them up pretty small, like maybe 1/4 of an inch in diameter, let's say. And then I would saute them in some kind of a fat, either bacon fat or butter or something like that. And they would absorb the fat, and that would get more fat into my diet.
Yes, that's great. Yes.
One way that we get fat is when my husband makes brisket, he cuts all the fat off and he renders it down, that tallow, and in that there's a bunch of crunchy things in there, and he just cooks them down till they're all crunchy, and some of them have a little bit of meat on it, a little bit of meat, and we just eat those. I
So
like those.
delicious.
Are
Yeah.
those called cracklins?
Not cracklins, because cracklins is actually pig skin.
It's pork. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pork.
So it's like a beef crackling though.
Beef
It is
crackling.
like a beef-
My
Yeah.
family used to make my grandma and aunts used to make cracklins, grind up the fat, mostly just fat, and then fry it. And then
Yeah.
there are pieces. Yeah, yummy.
Yeah.
I mean, how different is it for you to both of you, I'd like both of you to answer this question, between how you grew up eating and today, the way people to eat today on the standard American diet, as opposed to what we're supposed to be eating on a proper human diet. So, Mom, do you want to start?
Well, as a kid, I didn't like to eat. I was I was real skinny when I was a kid, and we had oatmeal, we had rice. This is stuff we ate every day. And it took me, after I got grown, it took me years to eat any rice because I didn't like rice, and I don't like oatmeal. But this stuff is stuff we had to eat. And we didn't have much sweets. We didn't have cakes and stuff like that. We had like watermelon, and some kind of fruit, some strawberries out of my mother's garden and stuff. But we didn't eat a whole lot of sugar. And
Processed foods.
but as I got older, I just wanted the sugar, So I was eating. I would just make a meal out of something sweet candy. I could just eat candy for a meal. I was bad.
Mhm.
But,
How about you, Jackie? How did
Well,
you-
both of my parents were raised on farms. They left that lifestyle when they got married, pretty much because when I was 5 years old, we moved to California. So I was born in Oklahoma, and both families had farms. And so I would say that there wasn't a lot of processed food at all. And there wasn't a lot, in their lives, and there wasn't a lot in mine, because processed food was more expensive. And when you're raised on a farm, you don't go for that. You're frugal, let's say.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so my mom really didn't buy that kind of stuff. She did make desserts on occasion, but not every day. I do remember every meal there was some kind of a starch, but there was always meat at every meal as well, and some kind of vegetable. So as far as the processed food, and pretty much the only time I got candy was at Halloween. And then I'd eat it sparsely so I could save it and have it last longer. But and that kind of, I don't know, Cristie, was that the same way? We didn't have a lot of processed food when
No.
you guys were growing up.
So when I was growing up, it wasn't a lot of processed food at all. She cooked everything, but she cooked it like that's interesting to hear her say what her mom made for her, because that's what she made for us.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a lot of money. So there were nights when we did have like spaghetti with sauce with no meat in it, because meat is expensive, but there were a lot of nights with chicken or fish, and then a vegetable and a starch. And I was raised in the Clean Plate Club.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But if I just absolutely refused to finish, I do remember her telling me, okay, but you will finish that meat. I remember her telling me that. And I think it really wasn't nutrition. It was, yeah, she's going like this. It was the money. The meat was the expensive part, so I was going to eat that. There was not dessert every day. I don't remember there being dessert unless it was like a family
Or we
party
had company.
or we had company. Yeah. We never had fast food or anything like that.
Mhm.
How about you, Robin?
Yeah, that's true. As I think about growing up, we did eat some processed foods. My mom was really cool because she would ask me and my sister, what do we want her to buy at the grocery store? And I would say I wanted potted meat. My sister wanted Vienna sausages, and we
Okay.
wanted these crackers, Ritz crackers and stuff like that. So I do remember having that kind of a thing. I don't remember having a lot of sweets though. You know, I think I agree with you that we only really had desserts at holidays. We really didn't have a lot of desserts. But yes, I was part of the Clean Plate Club. And I remember one day sitting at the table, my mom,
Wait a minute.
for some reason,
Wait a minute.
which my mom was like, I don't remember doing this, made canned beets, and they were, and she made us sit there till we ate it. I think I sat there the whole night. Beets are disgusting.
Okay, we forgive you.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I just remember it this way. She says it didn't really happen that way, but I remember
That's what it
sitting at
felt
the
like
table.
to you. I do remember, let's see if she remembers this. I remember being in the grocery store because, I'd go with her, and in that cereal aisle, I would ask for whatever sugary cereal I had seen on the commercial. She never said it was because it was too much money. She's whispering too much money at me. But yeah, she said no every time. Like I wanted Frosted Flakes or I wanted Lucky Charms, and I don't think I got a yes, not even one time. So way to go, Mom. Actually, looking back, way to go.
And as far as desserts go and sweets, I think the thing that my mom mostly made, and I probably mostly made, is homemade cookies, like chocolate chip cookies or, something like that, because they were cheaper to make at home. We very rarely got packaged cookies or something like that from the store, but I made them mostly, to put a couple in their lunches, that kind of thing. And then, but I don't think we had that. You didn't have that every day necessarily.
No. And for a while there, I was actually getting there's like free or reduced lunch. If you're low income, we qualified for reduced lunch. So I know there were years when I ate school lunch because it was like 15 cents or something.
Yeah.
For reduced lunch.
We did that too. We definitely had the preschool lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But do you remember did you make a lot of desserts? I don't recall. No. You just had Pringles in your room, and I would go in there and steal.
The juicy details are coming out now.
Family secrets. All out of it.
We all did that. Don't worry.
I was wondering about the health benefits that either one of you moms have experienced. Any health benefits or like your sense of well-being? So I guess like mental health and or physical health, I guess we could say, when you're eating more of a proper human diet. So Bernice, do you want? Yeah, you go first, please. I'd love to hear from you.
Let's see. Because I haven't been on it that long, one thing that I really noticed from the very beginning, for about a month, usually every night after I eat, when I lay down, I have acid reflux, and I would have to take omeprazole. But for the time that I was on the carnivore, I didn't have to take that at all.
Wow.
Seems like because I had a knee replacement, I had my other knee has bone on bone, and it's been like that for 3 years. I was supposed to have it done 3 months after the first knee, but since the first knee never got right, I refused to have the second knee done. So I have during this time of the few weeks that I was on it, I didn't notice I have hardly any pain in my bone-on-bone knee. It was
Wow.
better because before I went on that, I would feel sometimes I'd be coming to work and I'd be limping because I'm still working. 75, still working. So that to me was, a good. But one thing I was hoping I would see something that I haven't probably done it long enough to really have any effects as far as hot flashes because I have them severely all the time, day,
Wow.
night.
She's 75, people.
Yeah, and
Come on,
having
this is
hot
nothing to
flashes.
look forward to.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that. So I think that because in the last couple of weeks I've been eating a lot of different things because I went on vacation and I was with my family. We're all out at the restaurant. It's like I'm gonna order I'm just gonna order what I want. My husband says, "You don't have vacation, just eat what you want to eat." So I did. But I noticed I have that acid reflux now. Every time I have to sit up in bed. I got to sit up in bed 2 hours or more.
Oh, wow.
Because I can't lay down because it feels like it's coming back up, and a lot of burping and, not good. So yeah, I did notice it better when I was on carnivore, as far as that. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that their acid reflux was cured, healed, remission, whatever it is, after just a few days on a carnivore diet.
Yeah.
And people that have even been taking that omeprazole for years, like they've been on it for years, and within a few days or weeks of carnivore, they no longer take it.
Well, I just started taking it again in the last week because I've been eating some different stuff, and I think my problem is I'm never hungry. Like when I get up in the morning, I never eat anything in the morning, very seldom. Sometimes on a weekend, I might fix breakfast for my husband or something. We'll eat together. But I don't even get hungry till 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then if I'm at work, I'll eat on my break. And then when I come home, I want to eat late at night, 9, 10 o'clock. But when I was eating meat at that late, I still didn't have acid reflux. That meat didn't allow that acid reflux to happen. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's motivation to get back on, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working towards.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what about you, Mom? Health benefits?
Well, that's a little hard to say because I'm pretty healthy. I don't have, I don't know, I don't really have any health issues except the being overweight, or what I thought was overweight.
So how much weight did you lose? How tall are you and how much weight did you lose?
Okay, so I'm 5'3". As I said before, I started out at 170, and that kind of gave me the impetus to start. This morning I weighed and I was 149.3.
That's right.
And
but I will say that in the last, what did I tell you? Like a couple of months, 1 month, maybe 1 month, that I've been gaining and losing the same 5 pounds. And so in the last week, I got frustrated with that and I had to kind of change some things around. Generally, I only eat dinner. And I found that during that month that I was gaining and losing and whatever, I would eat another meal. And that made me, gain a pound or 2 in a day's time, in 24 hours time. I was eating all good stuff. I wasn't, going too many carbs or anything. But so I did like a 48-hour fast. So I'll eat one evening, I'll go the whole next day, and then the following day I'll eat in the evening again. And that seems to like quick charge things to kind of get it going again. I think my issue right now is that I have been this weight right around 150, like a long time ago, 20, 30 years ago, for a long period of time. and your body kind of sets itself. And now it's said to me, okay, you're down to this weight and we're not going to go any further. So I think, you know, I'm having to do a couple of things different. That's one of the reasons I think probably I just unconsciously ate fewer vegetables over the course of a week and that kind of thing. But as far as health issues, I haven't really noticed. I did have a minor surgery. I had a trigger finger a couple years ago. I had that surgery, and they said there is a possibility that it may come back 40-50% maybe, or something like that, if I recall correctly. And it has not come back, so that's a positive.
What about your arthritis in your hands? Because you told me that it was not bothering you as much.
It wasn't. I did a couple things for that. A doctor that I had several years ago suggested like a vitamin type supplement. And I started taking that, and that took the aching away, but I still had some issues with my joints.
Mhm.
And I think that the ketovore diet has ameliorated those issues completely, because I don't have any problems. In fact,
She can close her fist all the way,
Yeah.
and she couldn't do that before.
Amazing. Wow,
And
that's awesome.
a friend of mine actually told me recently, when we were doing something out in the yard, and I had to screw something off, and she said, no, you're not getting it. And because I was, and I said, no, I'm going to get this. And I did. And I unscrewed it, and it was large. It was, you know, something that this big. So that's harder, because your hands have to grasp at a larger radius, larger diameter. What would you call that? Yeah, math teacher.
You got it.
And, you know, I got it, and my hands didn't hurt afterwards. So there have been some benefits, some continued benefits of that.
Hey, Robin, did you hear my mom say the vegetables subconsciously went off her plate? Have you heard that
Did.
somewhere
Is that
before?
Yeah. You know, I think that's awesome. I have arthritis in my knee, similar to what my mom has, where she had her knee replacement. She also has bone on bone. So my right knee is has started down that path, that same track. And I was thinking to myself that I would not be able to, I might have to move downstairs, because my bedroom is up a steep flight of stairs. I might have to move downstairs because I can't go up and downstairs. And then when I went on carnivore, it still hurts and it's still crunchy, like when I go up and down, but I can go up and down normally. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm not going to be able to do it. So that was pretty awesome, an awesome effect of the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some pain and I don't know, stiffness. I was never diagnosed or anything, but I thought it was probably the beginnings of maybe some arthritis. It was in my right hand. I think because I'm a teacher and I do a lot of writing and, you know, like the whiteboard. And back in the day when the report cards were in like quadruplicate and you had to like press really hard, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, all the typing too, the keyboarding. Anyways, at the end of the day, every single day, my hand would just sort of have this nebulous, you know, ache. And now I don't have that anymore. Like I can, and I'm on the computer a lot now with my YouTube channel. I'm still teaching full time. I'm still doing all those same things. And like I said, with the YouTube channel, probably even more. And I don't notice my hand at all in a negative way. So I
Do you do a
think
lot
that's
of
something.
your, video editing on your phone, or do you do most of it on your computer?
Yeah, I'm still old school enough that I feel better on the computer. I know the young folks, and I'm the youngest folk here, but the people in, you know, the Gen Y and the Gen Z, those guys, I think they feel very comfortable on their phone, just like whoop, whoop, swiping things around, you know. I struggle with that, so I usually use my computer for editing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using my phone, but and my hands are tired because I'm constantly clicking and dragging and, swiping with my thumbs and stuff. Oh my gosh, the video editing is quite something. It's like a whole nother job.
Yeah, yeah, no joke. And it's a whole new skill set that the both of us had to learn when we started this.
Exactly.
Little
Yeah,
did I know when Carrie at home said how, just start a channel.
yeah. Thank
Yeah,
God
all
it's
the
both
skills.
did me.
Yeah. So yeah, all the skills that we would have to learn to do that. It's been actually, I've really enjoyed it, learning those new skills, but I didn't know when I got into it. Like I didn't know what I didn't know, like JT says, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, wondering if you guys have had, I mean, I know, Mom, that you had some challenges, you went on vacation and stuff, but are there any challenges or misconceptions, people misunderstanding what you're doing, or you misunderstanding something about the way things work that you have encountered trying to do keto or carnivore diet?
Well, I was I went to my doctor and I told her I said that I went on a carnivore diet. Well, because I actually in June I had seen her and then I had a wellness visit. And that wellness, they told me to go back and see my doctor, but I forgot that I was supposed to have labs done before I went to see the doctor. So when I went to see her, I was telling her about carnivore, and she told me, "What is that?" She says, "What is that?" I said, "Carnivore, where you eat just meat." She says, "No, no." She said, you have to have it for your biome, your gut biome. You got to have that vegetables so you can." And I was telling her, well, I said, well, from June to the time that I went to see her, I had lost 13 pounds, and then plus I done lost 2 more pounds, and she's telling me that no, no. And then I was telling her about Maggie. Maggie. I was
Yeah.
seeing a video of her, 82 years old, looking like she's 50.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I was telling her
Right.
about this woman that's been eating meat for 60 years, and she said, "Oh no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree." So she kind of shut me down. So I just left it alone because you know. But what was the question?
No, you answered it. Yeah.
That's it. Misconceptions that you've encountered or that you've had. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Doctor's a big one.
And when I tell people about the carnivore diet, they look at me like I got two heads. Like yeah,
Yep.
meat. That's meat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when I eat vegetables, well, huh? It's hard for people to understand. It's hard for people to understand that don't know, that
Mhm.
haven't tried it, that refuse to try it. Oh no, I've
Mhm.
got to have this. I've got to have that. Oh, I got to have some of this. Oh, I got to have fruit in my diet. I've got to have all these. Got to have. You really don't have to have it
That's right.
because I haven't been eating any fruit at all. A little veg, but I haven't had no fruit.
Yeah.
Don't really even miss it. Sometimes when I go through the store and see them grapes, oh, those grapes look so good. But it's just how they look. They look good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's kind of, to me, it's kind of, you want to tell people about it, but then again, they really don't want to hear it. They really don't want to heal. And I'm talking about healing your body from the inside out.
Mhm.
You know, even family. My husband. I mean, it's bad because he's bringing all kinds of stuff in the house. I believe it's almost trying to tempt me. Cakes, and cookies, and pies, and candy. All this stuff he's bringing in. It's not fair.
Not fair.
Yeah, that especially when you're first starting, because when you're first starting, I'm sure as Robin can also attest, it's like the cravings are all still there. It took me several months. Like I don't have cravings now. So like right now, my husband has ice cream, cookies, all that stuff too. And he even bought candy he said it was for Halloween. Yeah, he ate it all before Halloween, or most of it. I didn't give out candy for Halloween. I left my porch light off. But
Me too.
it's fine. Like if he's an adult, right? Like I'm not, that's fine. Like he can do that. But what I'm trying to say is for me, that stuff would have tempted me in the past.
Mhm.
Now that I've gotten over it, like there's a certain threshold that I cross at some point, and I have no, like, I know the ice cream's in there, but I have no desire at all to go and get it. So I would just encourage you that if you, it's, yes, it is very hard, I'm not gonna lie, to get to that point. But I know a lot of carnivores that say what I'm saying now. It's like once you keep it out for long enough and you abstain for long enough, you stop caring about it. Like it's not, it could be there, but it's not going to tempt you.
Right.
Wow. I'm waiting
So
for that
true.
day.
It's so true. I
Okay.
mean, it's kind of unbelievable, but unbelievable that that is true. Because
Mhm.
we're so used to craving things and having to give in to those temptations. We give it all the time. You know, if you think,
Mhm.
oh, I want some chips, you just have them.
Mhm.
Or, oh, I want a candy bar, you just have it.
Mhm.
That's my weakness, chips.
But you can actually not have it. You can abstain and you will be fine.
Mhm.
Ultimately, you'll get past it and you will not have to keep feeding that addiction. So,
Yeah, and as you keep feeding it, it will keep rearing its ugly head, so it never ends up solving the problem. I think Sean at Intentional Carnivore says, he talks about like kicking the can down the road. You're just kicking the can down the road. You're
yep,
not getting anywhere, you know.
right.
So, Mom, what about you? Have you come across any misconceptions, either out in, you know, in your where you live, or with anyone else that you've spoken to or talked with?
Well, I have a very dear friend. I might consider her one of my closest friends. Their family eats very clean. They raise their own meat. They grow their own vegetables. All of that. After I was doing keto I talked with her about it. I just told her. And after I was doing it for maybe a couple of months, she came to me very concerned. She was very sweet about it. She said, "Is this going to be a short-term thing so you can lose weight, or is this a longer-term thing?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I'm just taking it one day at a time," pretty much is what I said to her. She wasn't ornery. She wasn't, but she said, "I'm just concerned about your health." And I said, "Well, thank you. I'm glad you're concerned about me, and I'll see how it goes. I'm having a doctor's appointment, in X number of months, and we'll see what she says about it." So I think, you know, I think it's natural for even a person who eats healthy, not the standard American diet necessarily, to think that that's so different, that you're just eating basically almost just one food group or two food groups, and they don't understand it. So she hasn't said anything more to her, and I see her on a regular basis. Anything more to me, and I see her on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And but she was just concerned as a friend, and I can understand that. I mean, it does seem odd to eat just mostly meat and fat. But if I don't feel any negative repercussions, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna leave that eating style.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of told her too. I appreciate your concern. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I didn't want to be hard and fast with her because, we're friends. I didn't want to, but I don't think I don't think there would have been any barriers or anything like that. But I'm just saying, that's how I approached it with her.
Yeah.
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 I think one of the challenges that I face is that I just disagree with so much of what we're being taught by medical professionals, nutritionists, people who are in authority and have letters behind their name that say that they are in authority.
Yep.
And I just think that they are, I want to say they're just wrong, right? That everything is backwards and upside down, like Carrie says, right?
Mhm,
The whole
mhm.
world is backwards and upside down. The whole food pyramid, all the processed food, everything being infused with sugar, causing us all to be addicted all of our lives. And so that's where there are just misconceptions all around us about the way that we should be eating.
Yeah.
And it's very challenging. I keep saying that I feel like a very small fish trying to swim up a tidal wave, you know,
Mhm.
to just, knock down these misconceptions, because we just really we've been fed a bill of goods here as far as what we're supposed to be eating and
Yeah.
what is a proper human being supposed to have to eat. And we can look all around us and see the effects of what has happened in society based on this the food processing, as well as sugar's infused into everything. We were just talking about the salt. The iodized salt has sugar in it.
Yep.
What? I
I
mean,
found one with it on the label. Like they don't all have it, but I finally read enough labels because people kept telling me that, and I was like, there it is.
Wow.
Sugar right in the salt.
yeah.
Wow.
Even, like McDonald's French fries. I remember when I found this out, that McDonald's puts sugar in their salt. When they season their fries, it's
Wow.
seasoned with salt and sugar.
That's why they're so good.
So it's addictive.
Yeah.
It's not just delicious, it's totally addictive because it's full of sugar.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is the biggest misconception that we're fighting, is that, we need to eat these carbohydrates for our diet. For your health, you must have fiber, you must have carbs, when there is not an essential, the carbohydrate is not an essential nutrient, which is what we have found out. And we're trying to tell people.
Right. And they're recommending that like something like at least 3/4 of your plate is full of it, full of carbs and fibrous foods. And none of that's essential. And then when they do recommend if they do recommend any meat, it's like super lean, like 3 ounces of like super lean white chicken meat or something,
Yep.
So it's, I don't know. Nobody can be healthy on that. And I don't understand. Well, I mean, I do understand, like I know, right? Because we've been educated. Yes, there she goes. Yeah, she's been listening. Somebody's been listening.
Remembering how
And remembering. I wonder if her high-fat diet is helping her brain because she's remembering. That's right. Your brain is made a lot of fat and cholesterol in that brain. But yeah, it's all goes back to
The
money.
thing I wanted to say was, I was having a lot of the brain fog because I would want to tell you something and I wanted to explain to you what I'm talking about. And I would say, it's green, it's this, it's that, it's all these different things. And the person would start saying, oh, it's this. No, that's not it. It's green. Is it this? And I could not think of what. Like, it was like a disconnect. My brain was misfiring or something. And then after the person left, it came to me, oh, it was cucumber. And I wanted to tell them about, And I noticed my words are coming a little bit easier. I'm not having as much brain fog or that misfiring is not as bad. I've noticed that.
That's awesome.
That's good.
That's a great benefit. So,
dementia and Alzheimer's are like a type 3 diabetes type of a thing. It's from too much insulin flowing over the brain, which is one of the things that I'm quite concerned about is, because we do have dementia in our family. Yeah. My mom's mom passed away with dementia. Yeah. And so that is something that I'm very concerned about. And so, eating a proper human diet, I believe, is going to help to alleviate that. So I can believe that is happening. Like your brain fog is clearing up. Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed a huge lifting of the brain fog. Like the amount of fog that I used to have to try to push out of the way, every day just to seem normal. Like it seemed normal. I'm sure nobody noticed it. Like I was good at pushing out of the way, but it was like an immense effort to clear the cobwebs, to just, like I'm a teacher, right? So to just get that lesson out in a coherent manner and all of that, and now it just kind of flows. So
I hear
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Here. Mom, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something about Dr. Kilt.
Mhm.
Now, when Robin was interviewing him yesterday morning,
Mhm.
and he said that vegetables turn into sugar.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's the base,
I mean, the cucumbers, the little cucumbers that I ate, and tomatoes. Well, tomatoes are sweet
Yes,
anyway,
they are. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that gives me an opportunity to really think more on that as far as eating that, eating those vegetables,
Yeah. One of the things that Dr. Kilt said on my show yesterday was that vegetables are the predators. Did you hear that, Cristie?
I did hear that, and that is a pretty bold statement. And so for those of you that didn't see that interview, Robin, could you elaborate a little bit more? Because yes, he said vegetables are the predators, not us, or something to that effect. Not us on them, but like them on us.
Yeah. They are defending themselves through a variety of toxins and anti-nutrients that they have, properties that they have inside. And so they are basically, as Dr. Chafee said, vegetables are trying to kill us. Because, he just flat out said that vegetables are the predators, and I was so taken aback by that statement. That is a very bold statement, and it's a very profound statement about the anti-nutrients in vegetables. And, we really truly don't need vegetables in our diet. Um, uh, Fatty red meat can give you all of the nutrients that you need, all the micronutrients that you need. And then, of course, fat should be your primary nutrient, macronutrient, and then protein, and then carbohydrate is just literally not a required macronutrient. We don't need it.
Yeah.
So those vegetables, as she was saying, the doctor was telling her about her microbiome, that those vegetables are killing us from the inside out. I noticed that when I went on carnivore, I did go through a period of oxalate dumping, and I had rashes and stuff like that. So those oxalates, as long as you continue to consume oxalate, they will just store up in your body. But
Mhm.
when you stop consuming it, then your body is trying to eject that. So I did end up having oxalate dumping. But yeah, that was a profound statement. Another statement that he made on my show was that all disease is caused by a plant-based, lean meat, low fat diet. Blew my mind. I was asking him, is there any disease or any issue that cannot be managed through a proper human diet? And that was his response. I could not
Wow.
believe it.
Have they done studies on that? Is there research that
Yes.
supports that?
He broke it all down for me on that video yesterday, and I literally have to go back because so much that he said was it was just beyond me, and he poured out so much knowledge in that interview that I have to go back and study it. But yes, there have been studies done, and he's been studying it. Very, very smart guy. I just was like blown away by the conversation that we were having yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the good one. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that again and give it my full attention. Sometimes when I'm watching stuff, I'm kind of doing something else, but that one I think I need to stop and watch again
Yeah, me
for
too.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been going for almost an hour here, Robin, if you can believe it, but I definitely want to talk to our moms a little bit about specific, like things like social situations or family gatherings. Like,
Okay.
how do you deal with social situations or family gatherings where the diet might be very different from what you eat? So, you want to take this one first, Mom?
Well, since I'm on keto too, it's probably easier for you.
When we get
Because-
together, it's very easy.
But I mean, even when the whole family gets together, because I always make sure that there's, you know, an abundance of meat in the meal, and then you know, and then usually when we get together as a family, people bring things, and so you know, I let them bring whatever they would like to bring, and then they can eat that and take it home with them. And nobody seems to, I mean, I don't think anybody really objects to that. Like we're going to try out a pasture raised, I got it right this time, turkey for Thanksgiving. And I
Nice.
said to myself, I have not made a turkey in many years. This is going to be interesting. And then Cristie piped up and said, I'll bring a charcuterie board.
Nice.
And then, you know, hopefully, I mean, Thanksgiving is a very carb loaded holiday when you think about the traditional Thanksgiving foods. And I was thinking about that the other day. And so we may have some of those that, you know, other family members bring. If they're not brought, I'm not going to make them. I mean, I'm not stuffing the turkey. But if they want to bring sweet potatoes, they can bring you know, whatever, mashed potatoes or something like that. I know my sister always makes dessert, and it's very difficult to resist her cheesecake desserts. So we'll see. But there have been times when, in my experience, where I feel like if it's a special occasion like that, now special occasions are not every other day. I totally go with that. But, you know, I might have a bite or two of something that I haven't had for a while. And then often when that happens, I'll, you know, do a fast for the next day. So then I'm not eating anything. So I'm not continuing that desire for that forbidden food, so to speak. But I don't really think it has been necessarily a bone of contention in our family.
No.
I think they might have some private ideas that it might be kind of weird, but nobody said anything. So
I can guarantee you my brother probably thinks it's weird. My youngest brother probably thinks it's weird, but because I've heard him argue with my middle brother about so my middle brother is not like keto or anything, but he does eat a lot of meat, and he does think, for example, that butter is good for you and margarine is terrible for you. And I did hear them arguing one day about margarine versus butter. Like, it's pretty hilarious to listen to your adult brothers fight like they did when they were kids. Like, I was cracking up in my head.
not with this.
Not with fit. No, it was like a verbal fight. Yeah, over margarine versus butter. Yeah.
Wow.
So I can guarantee you, my youngest brother, who was on team margarine, would think I'm very weird. Yes. But he would never say it. He would never say it. He just keeps it to himself.
What about you, Mom? What do you think about social situations and?
Well, we had a social situation today. Everybody went to Olive Garden after church, and I was like, I'm not going. I'm not going. But my birthday is coming up, and they're doing my birthday is in a couple weeks, and they're gonna do a 75th birthday party, and they got all the food, and they got lasagna, and they got turkey, and not turkey.
You
They
just say there's got to be some major meat in that thing, and
they
you've
got,
always
well, you
yeah.
know what? I'm making a charcuterie board.
Yes.
I'm
Good.
I'm
Good
making a
solution.
charcuterie board with lots of meat on it, you know.
Nice.
But so what I really would like on that day when everybody's eating all this food, I like me a nice steak.
Yeah.
There you go.
So maybe
Maybe someone
can make it
bring
happen.
her a steak.
Make it happen for
Come on,
me.
his
You know?
name starts with
Well,
R.
See, I know what it was for me when I went, you know, on vacation.
Yeah.
I was eating. I was just eating. I mean, and I don't want to do that again. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta have that. I gotta have a steak. I've got to have some stuff that I can eat and feel good about. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
But when I go to a restaurant, which in my period of life, you know, I'll get invited out, my friends, let's go here, let's go there, or something. And it seems like I can always find something that I can either modify a little bit. Like when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I get a chimichanga without the tortilla. They put it on a plate for me. It has sour cream, guacamole, cheese, and meat.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
and that's acceptable. You know, that's acceptable to me. Um, you know, so you can always, and then you may have to say, okay, could I have you know, like some berries instead of potatoes or something like that? And they're usually really willing to accommodate you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we did
know,
Olive Garden today, and I ordered a la carte. I ordered salmon and shrimp and one Italian sausage.
there you
And I
go.
put cheese on it, and it was delicious, and I'm still full. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Even at Olive Garden, the pasta capital, right? You can figure it out for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think I really want to go out for dinner and stuff like that. You know, if I go to steakhouse, it's a different thing. But you know, going because Olive Garden, all the stuff they have, I don't want to have to choose that kind of choose. So I just not, I don't have to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went home
Yeah.
and made a steak. You know, that was good.
You can tell I watched too many videos about this because I don't remember who said it, but somebody was just talking about that, talking about cleaning up your environment. If you can go to Olive Garden, and they didn't say Olive Garden, I'm just like translating, right? If you can go to Olive Garden and do what Robin did and order the shrimp, chicken, and sausage, do
She's
that. But
good.
if you're going to go to Olive Garden and you know you're going to fall off, just don't go to Olive Garden. So,
Right.
and it was talking about like, it's same thing like at your house, like make your house a safe place to be for yourself. I know your husband makes that difficult, you know, but just talking about stuff like that. So just stay, if until you can control yourself in that situation, stay away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the best thing for me.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
I get a little bit stronger, I get a little bit more muscle, you know.
So I know that we're a little bit over an hour. I want to ask this last question before we go.
Okay.
Do you guys have any specific tips or advice that you would offer someone who's considering trying the keto or carnivore diet? We can start with Jackie.
Oh, thanks. I gotta think about that. Well, what worked for me when I was starting was knowing those percentages. And then, you know, for those few months, you know, logging my food, weighing and logging my food. Now, granted, I'm a single person. I don't have a lot of other responsibilities, so that could be cumbersome for some people. But then and then talking to my daughter, who knows more than I do about what appropriate doctors say about this diet, and being able to answer some of the things that might come your way from well-meaning friends or whoever. But that's what really helped me, I think, in the beginning, was actually doing the logging of the food and seeing the percentages with my own eyes. And when I saw that, okay, I've eaten this and now my carbs are at 9%, I guess I'm stopping. You know, I'm not gonna get that apples and peanut butter or whatever, you know, for a snack or something like that.
Mhm.
So, that kept me in check, kind of kept me in check.
Awesome.
Oh. I think that if I was going to tell somebody about starting, I think I would probably tell them to start not on carnivore, but to start on keto to ketovore, because that being that restricted, just like me starting on carnivore, I didn't last very long because it was too restrictive. But if you have a little bit more leniency in what you're eating, you can have a little bit more than just meat, salt, and water. You know what I'm saying? So I think, or maybe to tell them not to go a month, try it for a month, maybe try it for a couple of weeks, but try keto. Try to just reduce your carb and increase your fat.
And the other thing I would say, is go through. Now, I didn't do this for a couple of months, but go through your kitchen. And you can't do this, but I could, and get rid of, that box of pasta, and get rid of those honey mustard pretzel chips, and get rid of, and I went through my refrigerator, and I gave it to friends. I mean, maybe I wasn't giving them healthy things, but they liked it and appreciated it. And then I went through my cupboards with my dry goods, and when it's not there, it's easier to remain, doing what is healthy for you.
One other thing a mistake I made, I told my husband, because I love Lay's potato chips, and they have these little 49-cent bag of Lay's potato chips, and they're like 17 carbs in them. And I told my husband, I said, go and get me those little bags, get me 2 or 3 of them. He bought me 6 of them.
Oh, gee.
So I was eating one of them every day. One day I ate 2. I'm like, so they're out of my house. So I still think about them because that's my favorite thing to eat is those Lay's potato chips,
But if you want something that's salty and crunchy, try the Wisp. Have you heard of the Wisp cheese?
I have eaten.
They're like crackers, but they're cheese.
I've eaten Wisp. I've made Wisp.
Wow. Okay.
I've made them, but there's nothing like Lay's potato chips. I've eaten chicharrones, a bag of those. There's nothing like Lay's potato chips. Nothing.
Potatoes are extremely addictive.
So
convert directly to sugar in your body. So that's why. That's why.
Okay, we're going to pray for you about the Lay's potato chips.
Please, I need prayer. Maybe on the altar.
Yes, exactly.
Lay hands on you.
Yeah, lay hands on you. And
Lay
pray
hands.
those Lay's potato chip cravings away.
Away in Jesus' name.
I'm very proud of my mom because she, you hear even influencers in this space talk about you usually can't tell your parents anything because they diapered you and they are just not going to listen. And that's a lot of the attitude that parents will often have about this, especially with something so weird, right? Or outside the norm. It's not the standard American. It does sound, crazy when you first hear it. And she was not afraid to jump in and give it a try. And as you heard, she's lost a lot of weight. She even talked about, we didn't even get to exercise because we're out of time, but she walks 10,000 steps a day. She's planning some trips out of the country. She's getting ready to go volunteer at Voice of the Martyrs in Oklahoma for 2 weeks. She traveled to Catalina and worked at a camp there, sleeping basically in almost an outdoor, it's like a cabin, but not even enclosed all the way. She does stuff I would never do. And I do attribute the energy that she has to do that stuff to her way of eating. I'm proud of her for sticking to it. And I will also say,
me cry.
she's going to cry, everybody, because that's how we roll. Don't cry, mommy. So so she's a role model for me, and not just because she's my mom. Like, we've become friends. Like, we are both teachers, and I do feel like we are friends, but like, I can look up to her as somebody that just, like, she took on this challenge, she tackled it, and she's doing better than I am in a lot of ways. To come on here and talk was not easy for her. Not easy. She prayed about it. Yeah, it was not easy, you guys. And didn't she do a great job? So yay, Mom. And Robin, thank you for agreeing to do this, and Bernice as well. Thank you for agreeing to do this. This was my kind of my idea, and Robin just jumped right on board, and this was just so much fun. So yeah, it was fun getting to know you a little bit today, Bernice, too, just because I love your daughter already so much. So thank you.
She's special.
Yeah.
I will echo your sentiments. I appreciate my mom and love her. She's awesome, and I know that she's going to be able to accomplish this. I know that she did it for 5 weeks, and I know that she'll be able to hop back on board, especially with all the great information that she's getting. I appreciate you, Jackie. Thank you so much for being part of this show tonight. I just have enjoyed meeting you. I hope that we can do this again sometime. You know, we can definitely be back together. We still have a whole bunch of questions that we didn't even get to tonight.
Seriously, yes.
So hopefully we can get together and do this again. For you, the audience, we really just want to thank you for being here and for taking the time out to be with us on our Mother-Daughter Duos show. And hopefully we'll be back again and do it again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.